Hey y'all, ex-art student here. Today I decided to try sewing a pillow. I actually haven't done this since maybe high school, so it's been a while, and I'm definitely not the best at sewing or sewing machines, but I like doing it. I think it's a fun challenge and it really makes my brain work. So I decided to do a Luna moth, and I had this perfect fabric. I was actually going to use it for a different project, but I decided to be a little selfish and keep the fabric for myself, try to create something that I wanted to make, and use the beautiful fabric. But also I was kind of a bit nervous to try the harder project because I'm not very good at sewing. So I know the basics of drawing out my shapes, making sure it's double layered, like with the two fabrics so you get the cut for both sides, and pinning it down. I am notorious for breaking sewing machines or having broken ones, so I always like to test it, and it definitely took me more than one try to make sure this worked well. And when it actually did work, it was amazing, and sometimes it wouldn't. So I actually had my sister help me troubleshoot it, and we were able to fix it somehow, so that was really nice. And it's really fun when the sewing machine actually works, and you get to create these projects that are 3D versions of my drawings. Here, I decided, you know what, you're a very beginner at sewing and sewing machines, let's try making movable antenna for the moth. So I made these little popsicle-shaped fabric pieces, I inserted pipe cleaners in them, and I was able to sew them to the head so then they adjusted if I wanted my antennas to move around. I made this pillow a night here and there, and I would just work on whatever I felt like doing. Usually I would do the easier parts because my brain could handle that more, because thinking this way is really hard, and I would mess up a lot. I would pick parts that I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do this wing, it's easy. Let me try the head again. Oh, that's not working. Let me do something else. It was a good challenge. I think you always have to do a lot of backwards thinking, like thinking of the end product and how to get there. So when I'm able to unfold the pieces, like reverse it, so I could actually see how the shape turned out, it was really cool because it was coming to life. And I also realized, oh, maybe I sewed a little too close to the edge, or this is too small, I'd have to adjust it, or maybe things just didn't line up, like the antenna right here. And that's where I made little adjustments. I stuffed my pieces with pillow fluff of a pillow I'm not really a fan of, and kind of saw the little pieces coming to life. Like I mentioned earlier, I had to see what was working and what wasn't. I had to make a lot of adjustments when I did this piece because the antenna didn't line up, it looked really wonky, and some of the wings were kind of off too. So I could just settle for what it was, or I could fix it and make it a lot better. That's what I chose to do, even though it was kind of hard. And it was disappointing because you put all that work in, you're like, oh, it's gonna be perfect, and it's not. Here was a fun but stressful part. I got to sew on the little wings. I deliberately wanted the body to be separate from the wings and each pair of wings to be separate from each other, because if you look at a real moth's anatomy, the wings aren't together like a butterfly. What makes it different from a butterfly is that it has the two separate wings on one side. And I really wanted it to have that 3D effect. So it was important that I lined up the wings where they could be kind of even. And I got rid of some fabric of my lower wing because it was pushing the top wing up too much and it didn't look good. So when I did that, it laid a lot better, and I still was able to get that 3D look, like the popping out, which was fine with me, but not too much where it was obnoxious and it didn't lay right. We're up to the last wing. I did a ladder stitch, not very well, but that's what I tried to do. In the videos that I saw on YouTube, it seemed like it was a good way to attach the pieces, but also when you were doing that little closure stitch, you were able to hide the seams a little bit better, so it like goes inside the fabric. Well, I noticed after I sewed it on how lopsided and wonky the last wing looks, so I cut a little bit of it off so then it would lay better, it would be more even, and it would look a lot cuter. I'm destuffing it, resewing it, and hoping for the best. After all of the openings were sewn shut, I decided to sew a little bit of the top wing to the bottom wing so then it would lay perfectly anytime that it was placed on a table or a couch. So you would still get that moth effect, because if not, the wings were really flappy and flopping everywhere. Last minute, I decided to try tying on some embroidery string to see if I could get that feather look for the antenna. I decided to go against it. Now that my piece is finally finished, let's take a look at those final shots. Overall, I love my moth. I think it is so cute. I'm not really into astrology, but I do love celestial things and stars and astronomy. I love the navy with the gold. I've never seen any fabric like this before, and I'm amazed and so happy that I was able to find it at Joann's. It was such a fun experience making a pillow again with something that I actually like, because as you know, I love moths, and Luna moths especially. I am really proud of myself that I was able to create this. It took a lot of brain power and trying to think in reverse, and my brain just doesn't really work that way. So it really took a while to get it fixed in my head, like what I had to do. Yes, my moth is lopsided, but you know what? For my first pillow since like high school, so I don't know, like 10 plus years ago, almost 15 years ago, I'm pretty impressed with it. And I'm happy that I tried this, and I'm happy that I have a working sewing machine. I can't wait to make more cool pillows for my couch, because I'm just over the boring pillows now. I want fun pillows, and I want to make my space more fun in general, so I think this is a great start. And if you like this video, check out my Instagram, TikTok, Etsy. Please like, comment, or subscribe if you would like. Thank you so much for watching. Can't wait to see you next week. Thanks. Bye.